Uh, Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Talk Cycling with Almost Elite. So today we've got the tallest man in the Southern Hemisphere, London Spear 1.9, joining us on the show. Welcome to Let's Talk Cycling with Almost Elite London. Just to start off, man, can you maybe give us a little bit of an intro about yourself and I think the most important question here is, what type of rider are you? Climber, sprinter, all-rounder?
Okay, thank you very much, Jens, for having me. I will start off by mentioning that you guys are doing a wonderful thing that you have started. It's a nice initiative. The best that some of us can do is just to give you content and get those GoPros rolling, and hopefully none of the crashes will appear in our videos. And yeah, I go by the name of Tshepiso, and then my nickname is London. I work for a bulk water distribution company. I'm an electrical technologist. I stay in Joburg South, and I've been in Joburg since 2011, I think. Yes, 2011. And yeah, I'm a person who loves sports. I've done almost any sport that you can think of. I've done cricket. I played from high school till varsity. I was even the captain in varsity. I played soccer. I stopped because it was giving me injuries that were preventing me to do what I love now, which is cycling. I played table tennis. I played basketball. So overall, I'm just a person who loves sport. And once I get into the nick of things, I try to challenge myself and I go further and to be very competitive. And yeah.
Okay. All right, man. And then, I mean, your rider profile, where do you think that is?
The most important thing, cycling, not all those things that I mentioned. Yeah. I started cycling in 2017. Yeah, I started cycling in 2017. I started off, I think my first ride was around 15 to 16 kilometers. I've never been so tired in my life. When I returned from that ride, I think I took everything off, and I mean everything, and I slept on the mat. I slept the whole day. I didn't even know that I was supposed to eat and stuff like that. So yeah, I realized on my first ride that cycling is not an easy thing to do. And yeah, I'm a climber. I would love to consider myself as a climber. And even though these days I like sprinting and I'm working towards being strong enough to be in the breaks. So it's something that I want to commit to doing, and I will start off with the basics, and maybe because now I ride in the license category, I'm hoping to start off whenever I want to go on a break. I'm hoping to start off the way I started before I got to the AL batches, and perhaps go back to AL or BL and be on a break and practice this.
No, stay there in vets, man.
It's tough there. It's tough.
No, but that's all good, man. So I mean, today we're talking mostly about tours and long distance riding. So what's the furthest distance you've done on the bike, and where was that?
The furthest distance I've done has to be one of the Soshanguve Cycling Club tours, which is the tour to Mafikeng, which is held last week not last week of December, but the Saturday before Christmas. It's mostly held during that Saturday, and it's 305 kilometers. And the last one that we did was, I think last year, December, and that was the fastest one. We might have averaged around 34 or 35 kilometers. I'm not sure exactly, but around there. That was the longest that I've done.
Great stuff, man. And, you know, we want to take a deeper dive into that topic. We are very much interested in the tours and particularly your involvement. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be invited to some of the sessions, and I know you to be a very good captain to help coordinate those sessions. If we take a little bit, you know, just a little bit of history, tell us how these tours came about. Maybe if you know why those destinations and the distances involved, and perhaps why the guys, do tours to begin with.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to meet the guys in Soshanguve. I think riding these distances were some of the things that they liked doing, and then they would do it casually. Some of the stories that I hear is that they would just wake up and say, let's go and have breakfast in Bronkhorstspruit. And they would do that with ease. And then by the time I started riding with them, I think it was early on when I started cycling, so that would be 2017. I heard them talk about riding to Rustenburg and back. And then at that time, it sounded like we were people who have lost our minds. I remember people saying, "Hey guys, you want to tell us that you want to ride to Rustenburg and back? You guys are playing. You guys are clowns." And then we did that, and then people saw it on our Strava, and then they started asking, "Hey guys, when can we join you? We also want to ride these distances." And then at first we didn't know whether we should allow them or not. And then we said, okay, let's have a try. And then eventually we succumbed to the pressure and then started allowing people to come. We gave out invitations. I can recall that at the time we were not having entry fees. We were asking those who can contribute around 50 rands, and we used to have the lunches in the back of the bakkie or the back of the car, and then even those who didn't contribute were allowed to come. And then eventually it started getting bigger, and then as it got bigger, some of the things or some of our methods were not in touch with reality anymore. And then we started having to now put a prize money, and then it started being compulsory. And I remember that we started having around 20 people attending a tour. And then it got to 40, and then we realized that, no, this is getting bigger. We need help, because it was just a few people who were involved at the time. And then we were only having one group, which made sense. I mean, if we have around 20 to 30 people, just have one group and then ride together. And time went by, and then we started venturing out to other towns or cities, if I may call. I think then the following one was not Rustenburg. Rustenburg is the original one, which is 200 kilometers. The following one was Polokwane. The route hasn't changed. It's still as it was in the beginning. The only thing that has changed or that changes is the destination or our stop point. 275 or so kilometers or 280 kilometers. And then subsequently, we had Mafikeng, which is 300 kilometers. So I think it is what necessitated all these distances is that we wanted to challenge ourselves. We wanted to see how far we can ride. I think our bodies are now adapted to riding as far as we can. The only thing that is not allowing us is the light. Obviously, we try to start before the sun rises, and then as we have seen with one of our tours, it ended while it was dark for the guys who were going slower. So yeah, it's all about challenging ourselves, but then as time goes on, you realize that besides challenging yourself, these distances can be incorporated into your training program. They can assist you become a better rider. You can come and then join any group that you want to join, be it the slowest group or the middle group or the faster group. As we were transforming this journey of us that we are taking of tours, we started off having only one group, and then we went on to have two groups because some people were getting frustrated saying, no guys, we are faster than these guys that you guys are saying we must wait for. Then as always, we succumbed to what people say. And then we said, okay, let's make people happy. Let's have two groups. I think we went on a couple of tours. Then eventually there were people who were not fast enough to go with the first group, but still not as slow as the slower group. Then obviously they got frustrated, and then they said they tweeted and said, hey, you guys are not catering for us. And we had the third group, which is why we have three groups now. Unfortunately, if you don't belong in any of those groups, then
you're not ready.
You are not ready.
You're not ready.
And what we have also realized in us doing these talks is that it's hard to please everyone. It's very hard. We try, but always we constantly fail in one or two people. And then when we do our mathematics, one or two people gives us around 98%. So I think generally the feelings that people are happy.
So based on that, and that's very lovely. I love that, because like I also have been on some of the tours, and it's been such a magnificent experience that I can't even describe. It's so different to the normal racing, or a normal sort of coffee ride or group ride. It's I can't even explain the experience, especially to be on the road for that long and to feel safe, when you're on that long ride. And one thing I've noticed is that, obviously putting something like this together, like organizing a tour, you can see that there's a lot that goes into it. It's not like organizing a group ride where you guys, hey guys, come along, we're just going to go to point B. Like you said, we're going to be passing through different cities and different areas, and there's a lot to sort of coordinate logistically and making sure that now that you've expanded to the different groups, all the different groups are safe. So can you just share with us a bit in terms of what goes into organizing a tour?
A lot.
That's fine, man.
No, it's a lot. One thing that I need to emphasize in all this is that organizing a tour can never and will never be a one-man show. You need an army. You need a group of committed people who want to contribute to the end product. You need commitment. You need people to raise their hands and say, "I'll do it," without even having to ask them to do it. You need sacrificing. You need people who will say, okay, I will be there when there's a meeting taking place to discuss these things that that have to do with the tours. I can promise you that our tours take around 2 to 3 months to prepare, and not because I think mainly it's because we take pride in making sure that everyone is comfortable. And one of the things that we stress is safety. We want everyone to finish the ride safe, and then we want everyone to go back to their loved ones, because at the end of the day, we're doing what we love, and we want you to come back. We want you to have a nice experience. We have different people with different strengths in our organizing committee, and then we allow people to choose what they want to do, the task they want to do, and then we take it from there. Sometimes we have two people doing the same thing. It's okay. We ask that one take the lead, so that at least there's a single point of responsibility. Otherwise, the tours. If you were to ask what is different from the tours, if you were to compare it with racing, I think you get dropped. For example, you get dropped in a seeding that was decided for you when you are racing, and you get dropped in a seeding that you decided for yourself in the toss. That's the difference. So in toss, we want people to say, look, I've been training. I belong in this group. I want to test my legs. I want to see how far I can go in this pace. Because there are people who can generally go with, for example, group A all the way, or who can go with group A for half the distance, and even they want to do the pacing themselves most of the time. And then we allow such. We want people to be free. We want people to come and use our tours as the platform where they can test different things for as long as they do it safely, and then they don't deprive others of what they came to experience as well.
I hope you're not going to start introducing seeding ladders into tours then.
At the rate that people drop, I think we might. No, I'm joking. No, we allow people to see themselves as to how they feel. It's just unfortunate to see people dropping, especially before the 100-kilometer mark, because generally, I think the tour only starts after 100 kilometers. Before then, it is time to chat. It's time to get to know one another. It is time to warm up. Warm up is 100 kilometers in our tours.
Yeah, that's one hell of a long warm up. London, I just want to chat a bit about my first experience. And, I think I jumped into the deep end, into the A group. And, I knew that, I can hold a 30 plus average over 100K. And I think the furthest I'd gone was 150 or so, if I remember. And it was a big gamble, What would you say, to somebody who has never done a tour before, and they've only done your traditional racing and 100-kilometer weekend rides, and now they're coming forward, they want to try your tours, and they're not sure which of the three groups to jump into, or if they can even do 300Ks to begin with? What are some of the questions they should be asking themselves?
Yeah. Okay. No, I think one has to be honest with themselves. I think that it all starts there, and one has to look around. I mean, right now the cycling cycle is so small that you get to meet the likes of Eno, for example. You meet Eno, you are riding with Eno in B badge. You can see how you are riding with alongside Eno, and then you hear Eno saying, talking about the SEC tours, and then I think that's where you need to start. Ask Eno, where do you think I should start? Eno has all the experience, but if I were to answer it, I would say, look at the people you normally ride around. Of course, you are in racing, you do 100 kilometers and just around there. If you are not sure, then start in A. the fastest group, and then just have a feel of what's happening. It will also challenge you. But before ESCOM happens, move to Group B, and then the aim is to finish, not to bonk or anything like that. So I think you need to engage your fellow riders, because now the circle is very small. You know somebody who knows somebody, and then when we meet, and then also we have the likes of Strava, where we can see all these rides. We can see what we can measure up to, or who we can measure up to, and then if you are honest with yourself, you should be able to be in the right group.
And I know you've been, you've played a very key role, being the captain in A, and I must commend you for the great work that you've done there. I think one of the things we take lightly in cycling is safety, and I think I've seen you enforce that quite strongly. Thanks for that, making those tours very safe. That's the priority. How do you then deal with such guys? I can imagine the challenge of trying to accommodate the new person who's trying their luck in A, but they're perhaps not yet very much capable of holding that pace for 300 kilometers. And at some point they need to, jump out of the burning, of the hot kitchen back into the B bunch. And I think that makes it challenging for you as a captain, because now you've got your bus moving a little slower to accommodate somebody who shouldn't be there. Tell us a bit about those challenges.
Okay. First and foremost, I need to declare this. In as much as you complimenting me, I have never worked alone. I always work with the likes of Lerato Black. I think you guys have met him. And I'm mentioning only A. Lerato Black, Stay, for example, your Mapolovas of this world, and Marishani. So it just so happens that I'm the loudmouth. So these guys don't like talking too much, or they say, "Oh, you go." So majority of the time when I say something is as a result of the guys coming to me and saying, "Hey, London, tell that guy he's gonna endanger us. Tell that guy he's not riding well." So that's why. And then it has gotten me in trouble with some of the guys, because they don't really like being told what not to do. However, we are forced to do what we do, because at the end of the day, like our tours, we want everyone to finish. We would like to see everyone finish. We would love to see our tours finish without any accident. Accidents do happen, but to the best of our ability, we try to make sure that everyone is safe. And in terms of people who are forcing matters, that one is a problem. It has always been a problem, starting to when we splitted groups, and even to date, it's still a problem. Hence, we always try and communicate these things before the tours take place. For example, the week before the tour, we announced that we give out a top brief, which details most of what will be coming on the tour. And then on the day of the tour, like I said, I'm the loudmouth in amongst all the captains. I will try to gather the guys around and make a small Anyana speech and say and emphasize some of the things that are entailed in the right brief, and just let the guys know that we will try and make sure that nobody bullies anyone. We will try and make sure that we call people who are not riding safely to order. We will try and make sure that nobody takes the pace to more than what was advertised or what was agreed. We will try and make sure that everyone is comfortable. So that's how we normally do it. We do it in the week before the race, and then we do it on the day. Of course, there will be people who take chances and come, But unfortunately, for as long as the pace is within what we agreed for to, people get dropped, and I don't think I can apologize for that. I apologize only if people don't get what we agreed on. And yes, always people get dropped, and some get dropped within the 100-kilometer mark. And if you get dropped within the 100-kilometer mark, you know that it's not about it being not your day. It's about you having seated yourself in the wrong group.
Yeah, man. That's funny because I mean, I'd also like to share my experience of the only tour that I've done, which was to Polokwane. Probably one of the best events that I've attended. Very well organized, and kudos to you guys for that. So on the topic of pace, right? So how do you determine that pace to be when you start out and set it? Do you look at the route and say, listen, this deserves a 35? Because on the tour that I was on to Polokwane, I mean, we reached speeds of probably 40, 45 for a long time. And someone could get dropped because of that. So how do you determine the speed for the groups?
So there's a Japanese word of kaizen. What it means is continuous improvement. So you don't just wake up and say, yeah, I got it, we're gonna go at 40 kilometers per hour. No, you take it from tour to tour, but obviously at the start you take the lowest humanly possible pace, that average pace that you think that the guys can achieve, without limiting anyone or without being over elaborative. So I think for any cyclist who has just started cycling, the 30-kilometer mark is like the benchmark. If you can go 30-kilometer mark for 100 kilometers, you know that you've made it in life. So I think in the beginning our tours were around 25-kilometer mark, and then when we split, we started having different groups. I think we had around 30, and 30 for 200 kilometers was like, quite an achievement. And then obviously fitness does not stay in one place. Fitness grows as you you are committed to this cycling thing that we love, and then you can put 29 and then you get 30 kilometers per hour, and then next time you look at the people who are gonna be there, or people who are frequent participants in these tours, and then you look at what you achieved previously, and then you also look at the profile, and then you say, okay, I believe, or we believe that the guys can achieve this pace. And then obviously the pace is cascaded down up until the slowest group. And then we are very fortunate that we have people like, for example, Hendrik Mashamaite, who, even though can ride in any tour, still rides in the slowest group, and he's very patient. He's marshalling that group, because that group, if you think it's difficult to marshal go to that group. You will know that there you have to cater for different people there. You have to cater for different characters. You have to cater for different moods. So it's difficult there. So I think in a nutshell that is.
Yeah, man. No, thank you for that. So I'll know which group to be in next time.
I was actually shocked to find that that was your first tour, the one that we just did to Polokwane, because have been constant participants in our tours. And then they contribute a lot to our tours. I mean, doing 300 kilometers, even if you were to have maybe 6 guys that you say, these guys, they will take us to Polokwane or to wherever the tour is taking, or the destination. You still need each and every one to chip in, no matter how not so confident a person is. So I think with all our tours, you can see that everyone goes in the front. There are those who go many times. We allow that. In fact, we need that. There are those who go only once. It's okay. There are those who never go to the front. It's still okay. The only time it's not okay is when nobody wants to go in the front. Then what we want to achieve, it becomes difficult. And I also want to emphasize this. I think I've emphasized it before, and I think I need to emphasize it again. The pace that we put there is not SCC pace. SCC didn't achieve that pace. Each and every one that takes part, that's your pace. Hence we do a review afterwards as to tell us what did you not like about it. And then people are comfortable, people are happy with the pace that we've put there. Some people say we need to have 4 groups. I don't think right now we have the capacity to have 4 groups. I think we are stretched as it is with having 3 groups. We try to accommodate everyone, support cars or support vehicles have been something that has been coming up in the reviews for quite some time. So it's something that we have realized that also we need to put more time into it. So otherwise, the pacing is surrounded around that.
Definitely. That's brilliant. And it's so intricate, man, in terms of, like you're saying, what goes into everything. So, just before we close, I just wanted to find out, from, I think like we're referring to, people who've never done the tour and, want to sort of plan and prepare. Because I've also seen incidents where, like I think you said earlier on, where you find someone who's used to racing and is used to shorter races, and they're pretty good at it. But then maybe when they come to a tour, things don't work out as well, and you're like, how? But it becomes a different sort of outcome. So what are the nuggets of advice that you could give us in terms of how does one maybe prepare for a tour, obviously to the weeks or months leading up to that specific tour, and also even on the ride, what should I bring with me? I mean, it's a 300 kilometer ride, so what do I prep and bring on the ride with me to make sure that I make it through?
Okay, yeah. I'm a firm believer of endurance riding even during your race season. So in order for you to survive our tours, you need long rides during the weekend, or if you have time during the week. But most of the guys only get time during the weekend. So you need to put those 3-hour shifts on Saturday and on Sunday, or more if you can, because almost all our rides go north of 10 hours on average. So you really need to do your long rides, and it's all about building blocks. You don't have to ride 10 hours at a go. If you constantly ride your 3 hours, your 4 hours, almost every week, your legs get used to this endurance riding thing. I mean, if you ride, let's say, for example, 3 hours today, 3 hours tomorrow, you have built a 6-hour riding capacity there. Even if it's not your perfect mathematics, but your legs get used to riding long. And then in terms of what you need to bring, I think that in our tours we provide lunch, we provide water, we provide most of the things that you will definitely need, except we also provide some energy drinks. but we also encourage people to bring their own energy supplements. Reason being, people react differently to whatever they take inside, especially when it comes to supplements. So we want to help you to lessen the list of excuses that you may have as a result of dropping back. I'm not gonna say being dropped, but dropping back, because I mean, if we encourage people to not do anything differently to what they do normally. If you are used to taking a certain type of energy drink, continue doing it because it has been working for you. But if you are like me, you take anything that is not poison, then come empty-handed, and then we'll take care of you.
Yeah, man. No, thanks for that insight. Tell us a bit more about London tours, man. I know you have a baby that you run.
Busy laughing at me.
Please behave, man.
I'm dying here.
Yeah, man. So
Okay.
I just want to know a bit more about London tours and how that started and how that's going and how people can get a hold of you with regards to that.
Yeah, London Tours is a baby of mine. That started last year. It has just turned a year last month. It's a travel and it's a travel and accommodation business. But it's big on the side of travel. We provide transport for your shuttle servicings, your transfer, airport transfer, VIP transportation, your events, cycling events, running events, your hiking, funerals, family getaways. Yeah, anything that has to do with transport, we provide. And sometimes some clients come and say, look, we want to this and that destination. Can you take care of the transport side and also the accommodation? We do that. And then sometimes we do also catering in those we offer catering in those packages. So it differs with what the client wants. And then I think most of my client base is in cycling because that's where I spend most of my time in. But I do have clients elsewhere who like leaving their cars behind, and they say, look, I have a family, we want to go to this destination, and then we take them there. And then some cycling forums or running forums come and say, look, we have about 20 people. So there, obviously, if I don't have the capacity, we have a network of people who offer the same services. And then we have an understanding that either we give them the business, or we partner into getting this together. Then that's how it has come about, and that's how it's going. It's going very well thus far, and hoping to see it grow from strength to strength.
Yeah. And then how do people contact you? If they want to find out more on your Instagram, on your Facebook, or your WhatsApp, etc.
Okay, thanks for that question. If people want to get hold of London Travel and Tours, we have a Facebook page. It's London Travel and Tours, and then same applies to Instagram. There's a Facebook page. There's a Instagram page, London Travel and Tours. Drop us a message, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot for giving us your valuable insights into long distance riding and tours, and the difference in touring versus racing. Because some of us only want to drop the hammer, and it's always nice to go the distance sometimes. Really appreciate your time, man, and we'll catch you on the road. And to all our viewers, thanks again for watching, and thank you for being with us on this journey of talking cycling. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me, and thank you for what you guys are doing. Like I mentioned, it's a great initiative. The best we can do is support you guys with content, and more content. Then let's see this baby grow, and then almost elite, Amanda.
Uncle.
Okay, thanks.